Hello and welcome to this first lecture on continuous improvement in this course, Master in Construction Management. So in this particular section, the last section, we will talk to you about how can you continuously improve, and we will take a good look at that. And we will begin by talking about one of the things that you can do to continuously improve is of conducting post-project reviews that can help you identify areas of improvement in your working. So what are the ways that you can take to make continuous improvement? And one of them we talked earlier was to conduct post project reviews to identify areas of improvement. What are the other ways? Second would be to apply lessons learned for future projects. You might learn, you might identify the areas of improvement, but unless you translate them into lessons learned and apply them to future projects, it won't happen. Third would be to continuously learn and encourage innovation and adopt new practices over a period of time. So there are three key tenets of making continuous improvement. Let's take a look at how to conduct post-project reviews to identify areas of improvement. Any thoughts? See, post-project reviews, which are basically known as PPRs, are also known as lessons learned sessions, right? And these are important, these are essential to evaluate project outcomes, to pinpoint improvement opportunities for future initiatives, and identify successes. So all the three things, right from evaluating the project outcome to identifying successes and pinpoint future improvements and opportunity for improvements are the outcome of a post-project review. So how to approach, how to do this post-project review? Let us take a structured approach. Let's take a look at that structured approach as we go forward now. So first is to schedule your reviews early, and there the timing is the key. Conduct the review soon after the project completion to ensure details are fresh in everyone's mind. The longer the time gap between the completion of the project and the review, people will forget them. Second, involve key stakeholders. And then you need to include team members like project team members, contractors, clients, and any other stakeholder involved in the project. And for this review, you need to set a clear agenda and allocate sufficient time for an in-depth discussion. Second would be for this, when you start setting up the agenda, you need to define objectives and the success criteria. And there you need to establish the purpose of the meeting. And the main purpose you could say is to focus on identifying what worked, what did not, and how to improve. And if you go with these three uh, objectives or elements of the purpose, you are good to find few things. Then you need to refer to initial goals in doing this success criteria and objectives definition, where you need to actually compare actual results with the project's original objectives, KPIs, and benchmarks. And one of the things that can help is to use a checklist of project metrics like budget adherence, timeline compliance, safety records, and quality standards. So like this, you can define objectives and success criteria. Then you create a safe and non-blaming environment in the meeting, for the meeting, where you foster an open atmosphere where participants can share feedback without fear of judgment, emphasize constructive criticism over assigning blame. Blaming in a blame game doesn't help at all. And for this, you could do one of the things you could do is to use a neutral facilitator to guide discussions and manage conflicts. And that's a good way to, at least perceptually, for the team to know that it is a no blame uh, discussion that's going to happen. Then you gather feedback during the meetings. You conduct surveys and interviews using structured questionnaire where you collect input from team members and stakeholders. And what are the areas that you cover here? You cover Project planning, where you discuss work goals and resources clearly identify what were the gaps, what worked well in this area, what did not. In execution, work process is efficient and aligned with the plans, what worked, what did not, what were the gaps. In communication, what were the gaps, were stakeholders kept informed effectively. And in risk management, how well the risks were identified and mitigated. And each of these, you focus on these three questions of what worked, what did not, and what could be improved. You could use digital tools like Google Forms, MS Teams, or Asana for collecting and organizing feedback. Then you analyze the data. Now you have the data, right? So you analyze the project data where you review project performance, you analyze data related to budgets. Did you stay within the budgets, within the limits? Were the milestones met on time? Was the work delivered as expected to the standard level? And then identify trends, highlight recurring challenges or consistent strengths, right? And here you could use project management tools like Procore, Trello, or Primavera P6 to extract comprehensive report. So these are the analysis of your project data. Then you create a post-mortem report. You have now the feedback and the project data report both. So create a post-mortem report where you summarize findings under successes, what went well and why, challenges, areas where expectations were not met, again, why, and the recommendations of specific actions for improvements that you can take in future. And here you can use standardized reporting formats for consistency. What you need to do, what you can do and need to do is to maintain a lessons learned database that is accessible for future projects. So document lessons learned like that. Then develop an action plan where you can address the weaknesses by findings, translating findings into actionable improvements for future projects, assign responsibility by designating team members to implement changes and track progress. Now, in this, you need to include timelines and measurable outcomes in your improvement plan. Make sure that your improvement plan itself has timelines and is measurable. Then communicate findings. Share the results transparently. Present the report to stakeholders and discuss key takeaways, right? Gather additional input, especially from the stakeholders by inviting feedback on recommendation so that you are sure that you are aligned with future goals. And in doing both these things, you can use visual aids like graphs, timelines, and flowcharts to make findings more digestible. Then you have an action plan now. You know what are the findings. You are ready to implement, and then you will need to monitor implementation. So there you need to, for implementation monitoring, you need to follow up on action items. By ensuring recommendations from the review are applied in upcoming projects, and track improvements by measuring the impact of implemented changes to validate their effectiveness. You could conduct mini reviews during ongoing projects to reinforce continuous improvement. So let's take a look at a case study of a post-project review of a commercial construction. Here the project was a construction firm conducted a PPR, post-project review, after completing a commercial office building. And the findings were that the budgets overran by 10% due to unforeseen material price hikes, delays caused by inadequate contractor coordination, and strong client communication ensure design changes were handled smoothly. So two negatives, two things to improve, and one that went well. Then, based on that, they discovered the actions. They introduced cost escalation clauses in future contract, implemented a centralized scheduling system for contractors, standardized client communication protocol based on the success that they had. And the outcome was this: in subsequent projects saw a reduced delay by 15% and better cost controls. So what are the key takeaways? So the key takeaways are: one, to conduct reviews immediately and include all key stakeholders, identify root causes rather than assigning blame so that you can find improvements and team is open to telling you, and document the lessons learned and convert the findings into what can be acted upon, what changes can be acted upon, and then use data surveys and performance metrics to guide discussions. So these are the key takeaways from this lecture. So what do we do next? So after having looked at how to conduct PPRs to identify areas of improvement and develop an action plan, we will take a look at how to apply these lessons learned into future projects. So thank you so much for watching this first lecture on continuous improvement in this course, Mastering Construction Management. I hope you're continuing to learn new things, continuing to enjoy. And I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer your questions, and do download the PDF file to take a look at anything that you need.